Hello and everybody, welcome to what? All right, hello everybody, welcome to ESG Live with Chuck, episode number 29. We're so happy you're here. We're gonna get our intro done next time. I know we didn't get a chance to do our intro today. This episode is going to be about the coronavirus, a couple things. One is about the coronavirus, how that's affecting the electric scooter market. We have 5 guests on our show today. It was a marathon today, getting all those interviews done. So we're going to have all those interviews for you coming up, probably in about 10 or 15 minutes. So VOROMOTORS is going to be on, Apollo Scooter is going to be on, e-Scooter Georgia from the country of Georgia is going to be on, Urban Machina from Canada, and then also Scooter Hut from Australia. So we try to get different people from all over the globe to talk about what's happening in the electric scooter market. Hey, I see all my homies here in the live chat: Patrick, Robert, David, and Don. Yes, it's good to see everybody. So we're gonna have that, but also, on a lighter note, we have a really cool video that we've been working on for the last couple weeks. It's called Scooter Showdown. It's a new type of video that we're working on, where people always ask us to compare electric scooters, one versus the other. It happens all the time in all of our platforms, and basically, we figured, why don't we just try to do a video on it, and we made this video like a video game just because that's fun for us. So anyway, that's pinned in the video description, or the comment. It's a pinned comment. So we'll see you there at 6 o'clock or in 58 minutes from now. I think it's cool. It's a short video. And then hopefully we'll get back to scooter reviews next week. The scooters that we're going to be working on soon, there for one reason or another, we haven't been able to do a scooter review, not because we don't have them, but because stock levels are low, or there's a fix that's going to be out, or different things. A website's not quite ready. So we're waiting on our kind of on folks that we work with to do the reviews with. So anyway, we're getting to that. For news, we have a couple news articles on market sizing of the U.S. as well as the boosted. Looks like it's going to close down. We got some sales, and we got Ramir's ride report. Never fear, Ramir is here. Mission of the Electric Scooter Guide is to help you find the perfect scooter, although now it's to bring you the news about electric scooters too, seems like. We do the show every Tuesday at 5 o'clock Pacific. Now it's daylight time because we just had the time change, which is why we're not using studio lights, which is great for me. We just have a really hot office right here. Make sure to join our community on YouTube. Obviously, you're on YouTube now. Hit the subscribe, like us, like the video, and that way, it helps us out a lot. More people see it, and we can do more work. Follow us on Instagram. The link to Instagram and all this stuff is in the video description. And then finally, if you are in the live chat, chat it up in the live chat, because that's a good way to talk amongst yourselves. I'll also be in the live chat during the interviews because these were recorded earlier today. All of them were recorded basically in the last 3 hours. We've been running around trying to get them edited up, ready for you guys for the show. So I'll be there. But if you're around during the week and you have scooter questions, if you're new to scooters, or if you just want to talk to people that have other scooters than you and you're on your second or third or fifth scooter, then go to the Facebook group and chat it up there. That's kind of the best place. When you ask a question there, regularly we have 50 plus comments per post. There are so many people helping everybody out right now. And some of them are in the live chat. So anyway, it's great to see everybody. All right. Speaking of Facebook, every Friday on Facebook, we do Photo Friday. We determine, it's like a fun little contest. Whoever gets the most upvotes, is the winner that week. And so this week we had 2 runners up and a champion. So the first runner up is Yaj Lee with an M365 scooter taken with this person's phone, which is pretty awesome. This is actually based in the Philippines. Thought this was a really a pretty neat photo. Next up, another runner-up is, I'm sure I'm not going to say this right, but is Hyuga, Hyuga, Hyuuga, Hyuga Wright. and they've got an awesome Wolf Warrior photo, and this was taken in Abu Dhabi. So congrats to them. They had the second most kind of upvotes, and I thought those pictures just look really cool. Thought we'd show them off. And then finally, the winner of Photo Friday for the 4th week in a row. Seems like nobody can beat this guy, Randy Garner. Congratulations to you, Randy, because you've won getting your picture on this show. This picture was taken in Galveston Island. It's a 10X. Randy has now named his scooter Trigger, which is appropriate because of the throttle mechanism, I suppose. Anyway, we love your photos, everybody. Keep them coming. Next Friday, we'll do it again. Just wait for me to post. I'm sorry I was late this Friday. I think I actually got it up late Friday night or Saturday. Anyway, okay. So a little bit of news real quick. So yeah, tonight we have the scooter showdown coming up right at 6 o'clock. Our next releases are going to be, next week is going to be your kind of like top 6 safety tips for electric scooters, or like the 6 commandments of electric scooters, as we like to call them, 6 things that everybody needs to know about electric scooters. Also, we just finished working with Eric Decker. He's the guy that took a boosted board across California from San Francisco all the way to basically South Lake Tahoe. We just filmed an episode of Scooter Hunters with him to help him find the scooter that's going to take him across the state of Florida in a marathon race. So I think he's going to be filming that video this week, and we'll probably release our Scooter Hunters episode along with when he hopefully completes the mission. So we had him ride 3 scooters. He flew all the way out here just to do it. We had him ride 3 scooters, and he chose one. And well, I have no idea what's going to happen with the scooter that he chose, but waiting to find out. Other scooters we're working on is the INOKIM Ox 08, Apollo Explorer, a couple of used scooters, the E2 models, and the Kiwa H1 Hummer, I believe, is also coming by. All right, so next up, Ramir's Weekly Ride Report. Take it away, Ramir.
Hey everyone, it's Ramir here. I have a short report. I was going to do a video, but with the coronavirus going around and just all the panic that's happening with in the Bay.
Try this one.
Can you guys hear me? Hello?
Here, you use this mic. There you go.
Oh, hey everybody. Hey, sorry about that. Technical difficulties. I don't have a video this week. I was going to do a video, but with the coronavirus and everything that's going on, it was kind of hectic up here. Yesterday we had a ship land in Oakland on our ports, so that's a thing. But riding a scooter is kind of like good for corona, because you can't. I mean, you're not. It's not good for corona, but you're not in public places. Like you don't have to. You have a short drive, or when you go on a bus, catch Uber, or trains or whatnot. If you have a nice scooter, that's nice to get around. So I'll be back next week with a great video. See you guys next week. Chuck, take it away.
All right. We're actually in the same office. I guess we did have the other mic on. Oh, somehow it's not showing up. Oh well, sorry about that, everybody. You got 2 Ramirs there. You had the Ramir Weekly Ride Report. Okay, so cool. All right, couple sales. Fluid FREERIDE still doing their winter sale. They do have stuff in stock. Starting, I think in 10 days they'll have the Mantises back. But anyway, $150 off the Mantis Base, $250 off the Mantis Pro. Those are 2 of our favorite scooters. Then they've got the Wolf Warrior at $500 off, and that's shipping March 20th to 25th. So that's really nice on 2 of the best scooters out there at any price, actually. They're super fun. And we actually just completed the biggest survey ever. We were promoting that for a while. We had close to 1,000 responses, and actually both the Wolf Warrior and the MANTIS were right up there at the top user ratings, and our ratings as well. Okay. So we also have GoTrax XR, XR Ultra. I know probably not a lot of our viewers are in the market for like a sub $300 scooter, but if you have kids or like people that are newer to scooters and they don't want to spend a lot of money, that XR at $50 off after our coupon code is the best kind of deal for the I mean, like for your entry level scooter, that's kind of the one to get. Again, all of these coupon codes are located in the video description right now. And then finally, the EMOVE Cruiser and EMOVE Touring is going to be, they're both 7% off. Again, electric-scooter.guide is your coupon code for almost all of these things. Okay, so, and then also RevRides. RevRide's got, they have a few items left in stock right now, but they're getting shipments in 30 days and 60 days. So check their website for that. Also, they just added a no money down credit financing option with Catapult, and that's now linked in the video description as well. So if you're, if you want a good scooter, but you want to make monthly payments and you don't want to pay the high interest rate of your credit cards, that might be a good option for you. So anyway, check that out. Next up, we have the Micromobility America, which I've been talking about, which I went to last year. That is postponed due to coronavirus. It's in Richmond, which is literally the next town over from me. Just like in a perfect spot. It went from April 22nd to, it's got postponed to July 16th. I'm still going. Anyway. Hopefully you can go there. Hopefully we can have a beer. They have a little bar in the back of the thing. It's a lot of fun. Techcrunch Mobility looks like it's still on for May 14th in San Jose. We will be there as well. Also want to talk real quick about, we found, I'm always keeping tabs on the electric scooter market, and there's always new data coming out, and I'm always trying to extrapolate that to figure out how big the market is in the US or in the world and how it compares to sharing and all that stuff. And so just real quick, some data from France came out saying that France in 2019 sold 400,000 electric scooters at a converted US dollar rate of about $555 per unit. And if you kind of extrapolate that out, population and all this stuff, it means that for every 100 people in France, they sold about half or 0.6 of a scooter. Now, if you take those France numbers and move them into the United States, that actually translates to just over $1 billion market capitalization for the personal market. So my gut is that the US is not quite at the level of France yet, but it kind of shows you kind of where we are. And if you compare that to the sharing market, which if you extrapolate Atlanta's data from last year, that's about a $10 billion, market. And that kind of makes sense in terms of the investments that we're seeing on the sharing side. So right now, it's kind of looking like the US is maybe 1/10-ish. Again, this is not scientific at all. It's just like we keep seeing numbers. I'm always trying to get closer and closer to what may be an industry here. I mean, it is an industry, but and also if you look at where the investment is flowing, it's flowing into the sharing market. The investors have not quite figured out what I think we all know, and that is that the personal market has grown up in the shadow of the sharing market and is now coming into its own. Everybody that we talk to, their business has grown throughout the winter. So, it's interesting time. And then finally, Boosted, somber note, but Boosted looks like they're going out of business. I mean, Ben Fox just made a video, Sam Sheffer, we saw his video. Of course, we've reported on this for quite some time now. We also, have had the Boosted Rev for a long time now. We have not made a review on it, which we may, it's too late, but we're actually thinking about making a review on it for next week. Not that it's a review in the typical sense, but more of a review in how the Boosted Rev may have helped to kind of kill Boosted. Because whereas I did on the Xiaomi live show, I kind of talked about how Xiaomi got so many things right with the Xiaomi M365 to make that the most popular scooter in the world. Well, Boosted Rev, the build quality is so excellent. So it's why didn't that compete? And I think that, you guys probably all know that suspension, lack of suspension at the $1,600 price point, and also the really, really low range, we got right around 10 miles of range at the fastest, speeds. that may have killed it. I mean, like, that's a lot of money to spend. And when you have better features, that the problem is that scooter is also quite misunderstood because it has amazing IP rating. It's got amazing build quality. I actually think it's a good scooter. It's just a good scooter for a particular use case. So I don't know. We might do like a little, I don't know, just like thoughts on how the rev may have helped hinder. I mean, that scooter obviously took a lot of money to develop, and that R&D and that tooling and the machining and just like setting up factory, however they did it. And I'd love to talk to somebody from Boosted. So if you know somebody from Boosted, I've reached out. They've ghosted me. I used to have contacts at Boosted. We've all had contacts at Boosted. They're ghosting everybody, right? They should make a horror movie. Okay. It's 5:15, so we're somewhat on track. So I want to bring in my first guest. His name is, this is a hard name, but I wrote it down. He's a great guy. It's Georgi Balakashvili. I practiced that many times. He is from Georgia. We actually talked to him, a long time ago. He reached out and we kind of helped him get some contacts. He then made his own electric scooter distribution company in the country of Georgia, which is like in between Europe and Asia. Really cool guy. Anyway, let's play the interview. All right, George. We have Georgie here. He is the owner and founder of eScooters Georgia. Thank you very much for coming on the show, Georgie.
Thank you, Chang. Thank you. Hi, everybody. For those who are not familiar, I'm Georgi from Georgia. It's a small independent state in the Caucasus region. It's on the border of Europe and Asia. It's really small. We are only 3-4 million people living in Georgia, but it's a very beautiful place. So everybody are welcome here.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll have to come visit you sometime. So
Yeah.
I want to get into, I want to talk to you another time about your business and stuff. But for today, we're all about how the coronavirus is affecting, electric scooter availability and all that stuff. So how has the coronavirus affected your business?
Yeah, actually, it's the hardest topic nowadays. As the virus is spreading all around the world, it has impacted all sectors, all markets, and particularly the e-scooters in the world. In the beginning, like it was the New Year holidays in China, then it was continued with this coronavirus outbreak. And the very bad scenario was that I was not able, for example, and no other importers in Georgia, we are not able to bring the scooters from China. So it was translated in the shortage of our stocks here. For those who had who had accumulated some stocks here of scooters, we are operating okay, but anyway, there are some models, and I am the seller of multi-brand electric
Yeah.
scooters, so I have shortage in some stock of some models, and sometimes it's really hard to explain the customer that there are some problems because of this virus
Do
there.
you find that some of the popular brands are being out of stock, or is it the less popular brands that you sell are out of stock?
Actually, it was, for example, it was Xiaomi M365 Pro
Mm-hmm.
that I was out of stock, and then we managed to bring 30 pieces from Belarus. There was some warehouse, and we have bought from Belarus, but it was within somehow expensive price. But anyway, we managed to bring it to Georgia. But now, if you want to bring from Belarus, there are no stock. If you want to bring it from, I don't know, Latvia, Lietuva, or wherever, we are not able to buy and bring them to Georgia. Um,
Yeah. Okay. So right now, are you able to get any Xiaomi products?
Yes, on Friday there was a good news. Actually, what was the problem? The problem was the closed border with Russia, And as Georgia is a small market, we do not really import with a whole container load, but rather we prefer to bring it by land transport. And the land transport goes through either Russia or Kazakhstan and then enters to Georgia. So whenever Russia has closed the border with China, it was translated that no scooters will entering Georgia anymore. So now on Friday they have realized the news that the border is open now. The custom service operates in China with some difficulties, but anyway they are able to export from China through Russia. So I hope that latest in the middle of April, I will be able to get some stock like for Xiaomi as well as for INOKIM. And the other, my favorite brand that I have in stock, and I was lucky to buy them on Christmas sale. It is E12, and I have them now in stock. So
you have some in stock. Are they shipping E2 or E12 or however you want to say it? Are they currently shipping? Can you get them?
Actually, I have some stock in Georgia here in my warehouse, and starting from the last Friday, they are able to ship directly to Georgia again. So I think that these problems with China is almost how to say finalized, but the coronavirus is spreading all around the world and people are getting scary. Sometimes they are asking questions, is it safe to bring scooters from China?
Okay.
And maybe you are bringing
Lost your
some
audio.
virus, and I'm sharing with them the recommendations of World Health Organization, for example, telling that like it's safe and the virus cannot resist these circumstances. So I'm trying my best to educate myself first of all, and then educate the customers that it is safe, almost safe to bring the scooters from China, and there's no any how to say hazardous things bringing the scooters there.
Got it. Okay. Great. So, I mean, this is really important, good information that I'm sure everybody wants to know. It's interesting to know what scooters, the bigger brands are being able to export right now and which ones are kind of on hold. Great. Well, I mean, that's all my questions for today. Georgie, I really appreciate you coming on the show. Good luck. I know we talked a long time ago when you were first starting, and it's really nice to see your business doing so well. Even
thank
through
you,
these times.
Thanks so much. You're really a superhero in the nowadays world. You are making a super job, and I was how to say the very first steps I have made in my business was just following your webpage, just educating myself, and now I'm able to share your experience, my experience, others' experience, because this market of electric scooters is really how to say increasing, and the people need to know more information, and it's really urgent and crucial to have as many information as it possible.
Absolutely.
So thank you again.
Absolutely. My pleasure. Always happy to be of help. All right.
You're my superhero.
Thank you. Yes. Okay. Thank you, Georgie. We'll talk to you soon.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Good luck, and hope that this virus will be ended in very close future.
Absolutely. We all hope that. Okay. Take care, Georgie.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
See you.
All right. So really appreciate Georgie coming on the show. Really interesting hearing about, he's a smaller seller than some of the other guys that we're going to talk to. And what, we found out, and as you're going to see, is that, the size and the preparedness and how many years in business actually help to kind of build up stock in some of these companies. And that's why some have the stock and some don't have the stock. So I'll bring in my second guest here. This is Olivia Yu from Urban Machina. She's kind of their official spokesperson, and she knows all about the company. They're based in Canada on the west side in Vancouver. They sell a bunch of different models from all over. So let's hear this interview. Hi, Olivia. How are you doing? Thank you very much for coming on our show.
Hi, Chuck. Thanks for inviting me.
Awesome. So you're in Canada, which is, of course, we have different people talking about the coronavirus in different countries and continents. And so,
Yeah.
how has the coronavirus affected you guys over at Urban? You say Urban Machina?
Machina or Makina, both
Makina.
work.
That sounds cooler.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's going on over there? How has that affected your guys' business, your stock, all that kind of stuff?
So to be honest, it actually hasn't really affected us too much. Canada in general right now, we're just at a very low risk for this virus. And in terms of stock, we're actually fully equipped. We do have ample stock of all models, and we're good for about 6 months at least. So that's not something we're worried about.
Oh, that's good. That's good to know.
Yeah.
How has the models that you had before? Do you just have like a large kind of warehouse of them, or are your suppliers still shipping you new units as needed?
Yeah, so we actually have a warehouse in China, and in Vancouver. So when we have a production, we produce in very large amounts. Not everything will be shipped to us at once, but they will be shipped to us as needed, and then stored in our warehouse in Vancouver. So that ensures that our supply chain is not disrupted in case of
Mm.
anything like this virus, for example. Everything that we I've ordered are produced, just stored on an offsite warehouse in China. And whenever we need it, we just have it shipped over.
Okay, so it's like your warehouse in China, you've got a bunch of stock there, and then you ship as needed
Yeah.
to you over here. So
Yeah.
shipping, has that been affected? Like, in other words, has your customs or, the country of Canada, have they limited imports at all from China?
So far, no. We haven't heard anything about a disruption in shipping or freight. It's mainly production that's at issue right now, um, that this virus is affecting.
Okay, but you were saying pretty much all your models that you sell, and I think you guys sell a lot of different models, ENOKIM, the Evolve line. I think do you sell some Segway models as well?
No, we've got a Nagi, we've
Nagi.
got 1 mile, so a variety of different
Yeah.
brands.
Okay.
Yeah,
And for all of those, you were saying 6 months supply.
yeah,
That's great.
we do.
Cool.
Yes.
So I mean, you're I think one of the more well set up, companies from what we hear, as far as making sure that you have stock. A lot of people are, you know, not so fortunate, I guess.
Yeah, well, we've been in business for a couple years, so before this virus, there are small interruptions here and there, even like over the holidays, for example, Chinese New Year. So we kind of learn along the way where like when there's these timelines, to plan even further ahead. Now I understand that going forward it might be a little bit more difficult just because even though the factories have reopened, they're not at full capacity. So this just means even more planning is needed.
Sure, sure. But hopefully within 6 months, this whole thing kind of resolves
Yeah,
itself.
yeah, for sure.
Cool. And then last question is, have your customers, do you see any difference in terms of your customers? Are they asking you guys different questions? What's the response been on that front?
Asking a questions on
Uh,
our inventory or
just like,
just in general.
yeah, just generally, like, how has that impacted your customers? Are they asking you different questions? Is their usage differently of the scooters they already own? Are there different accessories they're purchasing? I don't know. Just wondering if what the
Yeah,
reaction is
so
there.
most questions actually from existing customers are parts, because as we all know, these scooters need regular maintenance and it's a wear and tear item really. So as you use the scooter, there are parts that you bound to have to replace. So a lot of concerns from them are, oh, will we have these parts available because these production issue going on in China right now. But like I said, we have enough stock of scooters and parts as well. So we're prepared for any common repairs or maintenance. Our customers won't really have an issue with that.
Awesome. That's great. Okay. Cool. That's all my questions for you. I really appreciate you coming on and taking your time today to talk to our audience. And the link for the Urban Machina is in the video description right now. So if anybody's looking for a scooter over there in Canada, we have the link to you guys. So yeah,
Perfect.
wonderful. Yeah, and hopefully we'll
Thank you,
talk
Chuck.
again soon.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Yes.
All right.
All right.
Have a
We'll
great
see you
day.
soon.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.
All right. Thank you so much, Olivia, for coming on. Really interesting to hear about that. And, what we're learning there is that, by, what they kind of did to counteract the stock issue, it seems like there was about a month, but that the Chinese were not producing scooters. Of course, Chinese New Year, which I guess always happens every year. I should know this. But also, afterwards, right after was the whole Corona thing. And then so there was like a month where there wasn't any stock. So it seems like they have always kept 6 months of stock, which keeps them kind of immune to any drop in the supply. So that's great. And the link for Urban Machina, Apollo will come later, also Canadian, but Urban Machina, their link is in the video description. So they have stock, they have a lot of different scooters. We're going to be reviewing their INOKIM Ox model. I've been actually riding it for 2 weeks. It's amazing. Okay, but we're going to run out of time if we don't get to the next one. So our third guest is Melvin. You saw him a couple weeks ago. The manager of VOROMOTORS, maker of the EMOVE Cruiser, one of our favorite long-range commuter, and the EMOVE Touring, which is one of the most comfortable, like $800 scooters. They distribute in the U.S., but they also have worldwide distribution. And so Melvin had some interesting stuff to say about that. So let's play that one. Hey, Melvin, welcome back to the show. It's good to see you again.
Hey, Chuck. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Where are you? It sounds like it's raining over there.
Yeah, I'm in Los Angeles right now.
Okay, at your guys' office, right?
Yeah, correct.
Cool. So thank you for coming on, and we're here kind of doing a show on how the coronavirus is affecting different scooter companies all over the world. So you guys are distributing basically mostly in the United States, but you have distributors actually in many other countries. How has the coronavirus affected VOROMOTORS?
Okay, so the coronavirus, it will affect some of our dealers, especially in the Europe region. Mm-hmm. So the shipping lines are closed in some of the EU areas in terms of air shipping.
Okay.
So in terms of sea shipments, some of the areas such as Italy is closed. And countries like Denmark, we can ship via train, this kind of stuff.
So airship is closed, and then you said train shipments still open?
Yeah, train shipments is still open. In terms of factory production, most of the factories in China are already open. It shouldn't affect the electric scooter supply wise, but it will affect the shipping lines.
Okay, so from China, say to the United States, how are you guys planning to get your stock?
Okay, so we are constantly resupplying and restocking our electric scooters. In terms of supply wise, in United States itself, we are always enough stocks. But we have ample supply.
How are you were saying that it's the shipping lanes are being closed, you're saying, from China to the US?
No, from China to some of the Europe countries.
Okay. Those are some of them
US,
are closed.
It's fine.
Okay, so correct. Shipments are coming to the US, and the factories that make the VOROMOTORS, so the EMOVE Cruiser, EMOVE Touring, etc., have they had a long hiatus in terms of a break in their production? So there's a pause in you being able to get scooters, or have you been able to manage getting a constant supply?
Yeah, we've been managing and getting a constant supply. So before the New Year's, the Chinese New Year, the Chinese usually take a long break, like a 1 month break. Yeah. So before the New Year, we actually ramp up our production to prepare for the next 2-3 months to come.
Okay. You guys prepared because you knew that it was coming.
Correct. We faced this before, like New Year's.
Yep.
Yeah, because we've been doing this for a while now.
Okay.
So Chinese New Year usually stops the supply while we ramp up our production and prepare for the March, April, May supplies.
Okay. Now, if coronavirus gets worse in terms of if they, and in China, it seems like China's basically back to everybody's working again. If it gets worse in the rest of the world, because we see that, there's more cases in more countries and things like that, how would that then affect production from China that seems to be doing okay now? How would that affect all these other countries getting scooters, including the United States, potentially?
Okay. Generally speaking, for United States, there shouldn't be any down in supplies. The supply should go on smoothly. Good. Because US is accepting the imports, and the production is continuing, and the export is okay.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay, and I guess my next question is, like, as things get more, the news doesn't seem to be getting better. As usual, there's more cases all the time. I don't know. I hope that U.S. doesn't close their, their importing and stuff like that. But, obviously, if that happens, then we have a different story. But it sounds like for the U.S., you guys are pretty good because you planned for Chinese New Year for the slowdown in production, but that slowdown just ended up going on a little bit longer.
Correct.
Yeah. Correct. And so right now you still have supplies of EMOVE Cruiser, EMOVE Touring, that sort of thing.
Yes, correct.
Okay, great. Have you noticed any customers, any difference in customer behavior during this time?
Not really, but generally speaking, most customers are just asking us whether the coronavirus will affect the shipment time.
Yeah.
Especially, it will affect our dealers around the world.
Yeah.
It will not affect the customers in the United States because some of them cannot get the scooters in their countries. For example, we have a dealer in Denmark who is trying to get the scooters in, but they can't due to the shipping lines being closed.
I lost you. Hold on one second. There we go. Got you back again. So great. So sounds like in the other countries, people need to check. I guess my last question is from your warehouse in the United States to the customers in the United States, anything being affected in terms of the length of time when somebody places an order to the time that they get it?
No, it wouldn't.
Okay.
UPS is still working. FedEx is still working.
Okay. UPS, FedEx still okay, and those are primarily who you guys use for shipping?
All right.
Okay. Yeah. So I guess there's some risk factors coming up, but like what I'm hearing is, like, at least for the US, you guys are handling everything. You got supply. You have shipping nailed in terms of at every step of the game, and their scooters are being produced in China. So
correct. But it's important to take note that because things are looking to get worsened along the way, some people might not be able to come to work.
Yeah.
I think if things get worse, if people cannot work, and that will definitely affect the shipping time and definitely affect how we're going to operate because we cannot QC, cannot have people in the office working. That will be bad. Yeah.
So right now, your employees are all working, but if it gets worse, then UPS could way longer times for UPS if those folks stop going to work, or if any of your employees need to stay home. You're in LA, and I don't know how the situation is in Los Angeles. I know here in the Bay Area, you've got Facebook and Google telling people not to go to work from home, basically. I think Amazon is doing that. Is that happening in Los Angeles?
Not yet in Los Angeles.
Okay.
Yeah, but in other countries like Singapore is getting bad. So they are taking precautions.
Okay.
If it happens in Los Angeles,
Got it. And for Singapore, you guys aren't operating in Singapore. Your scooters are being produced in China, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm getting a bet. I've talked to I think our fourth interview tonight, and I think that I'm kind of getting a sense of, kind of the general summary. I think I'll make a summary after all these interviews are over, because I'm learning as we talk. Actually, I'm learning from each place.
Right.
Great. That's all my questions that I have for you today, Melvin.
Thanks, Chuck.
Super appreciate you coming on, and stay dry and stay healthy.
Thank you, Chuck. You too. Take
Okay.
care of yourself. Buy some hand sanitizers.
Yes.
Just to prepare.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's better to be safe than sorry.
Yeah. Good advice. All right.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Chuck.
Okay.
Thanks for all the viewers.
Absolutely. All right. Bye-bye. All right. Thank you so much, Melvin, for being on the show. We don't have too much time to recap that because we got 20 minutes left here. But link for VOROMOTORS, video description. They do have stock. Check them out. I just say that like one of the risk factors that I learned after talking to him was that if some of UPS or some of these major carriers, if they start having their employees not come in, game over, probably, but hopefully that does not happen. Okay. Next up, we have Christopher from Apollo Scooters in Montreal, I believe, Canada, who's on the show to talk about some of their what they're dealing with the coronavirus. And they sell a lot of brands. They're making their own brand. So let's go ahead and play that. Hey, Christopher, thank you very much for coming on the show. We are interviewing folks from scooter companies from all over the world, including the country of Georgia. We're going to have Australia on, Canada, and of course, the United States. And so we're trying to get a sense of like, what is going on? How is your business affected? How is the scooter supply affected from coronavirus? And I know you guys sell a plethora of different models from different companies there in Canada. How's it going over there with the coronavirus, and how's it affecting things?
Yeah, of course. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having us here. We really appreciate it. As you know, we're based in Canada, but we do ship, USA, Canada wide. Coronavirus. Everyone's panicking. The news is panicking. Of course, it's affected the world and affected a lot of imports, exports, manufacturers. But the three main things that it's really affected is China's economy. So as we know, scooter manufacturers, of course, are facing lots of delays. China shuts Hyundai's factory until April, for example. Like, it's a huge economical hit, even for like Apple and all these big companies. But luckily for us as well, I mean, the factory is, outside from Wuhan, where the major zone actually hits. So we are like okay in terms of that. And also, it's like lots of customers need to also be rested assured, because coronavirus can only be transported through like human beings. It can be through products, but then again, 2 weeks is your safe zone. So all these scooters are shipped on a major ship, and it takes 4 weeks. In which you're completely safe. The factory's taken super good precautions towards cleaning everything. So 4 weeks, you'll be completely fine. But funny enough, so that's how it affected sort of China. The second one is how it's affected, customers and our business. It's actually done an effect that we wouldn't have understood. Like, much more people are avoiding public transit. They're avoiding buses, congested metros, and they're actually buying more electric scooters. So in the last few weeks, we've had a lot of demand of people saying, hey, I want to, my commute time is actually only 2 kilometers. I don't want to take the bus anymore because I just don't want to be in contact with a lot of people. So electric scooter is a perfect avenue for me, which is, it's a great, they're finally understanding also micromobility, and it's sort of a safety buffer zone for them, which is fantastic. So we've actually been super busy the last few weeks. I mean, not that it's a good thing, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, good for business though. Yeah,
good for business.
That's what you guys do.
Exactly.
Scooters,
and exactly. And lastly, how did it affect sort of our supply chain? We were lucky enough that it only affected like a delay of 2 weeks. So we are just launching on your Polo line with 4 different models, 24 months warranty, and we're super excited for this. And it was supposed to launch, end of March, but it's coming first week or second week of April. And literally, the suppliers just sent us all the images yesterday, and they're on the ship right now, and they're on our way. So we're super excited about this.
Okay, so this is your new Apollo line, right? And you're saying that those those are on their way to the US now.
They're on their way, yeah. So they're coming straight to Canada, all of them are done, all produced. Factory started 2 weeks ago, and all quality checked and everything else. And it's great. It's very reassuring because until it's actually on the boat, you can't really celebrate. They're coming, and they'll be in stock as of April.
Wonderful. I think we have a review coming up for the
Yes.
Explorer, if I'm not mistaken.
So
look out for that in the next couple weeks, probably.
Very excited.
So about the sounds like you're not really affected, at least not with the Apollo line. I know you guys sell Mercane and some other brands, I believe, right? Some Segway products, Xiaomi products.
Sure, yeah, I can explain. Right? Yeah, so we started this company 2 years ago, selling more major brands such as Xiaomi, Segways, Mercanes, and it was great and all, but we saw so much potential in terms of developing new scooters. So hence why we developed our own Apollo line, much more vigorous quality check processes, 24-month warranty, and we changed all of the different details in the scooter, which is great. In terms of Xiaomi's and Segways, it hasn't really affected too much. It has been delayed by a month and a half, but we have been stepping a bit away from those major brands because now we're focusing more on Mercane and the Apollo line. Mercane, honestly, they're back in the factory's been up and running again, and we're getting our stock in a few weeks again. But we ordered quite a bit in the start to have a buffer. So we're lucky with that. So we kept going on winter every 2-3 months to get stock. Mm-hmm. So we're safe right now for a few more weeks. And this will be coming end of April. So we should be fine.
So you guys never really went out of stock. When you stocked up, you had enough. And so the delay I think there was a delay basically for everybody for about a month, right? During Chinese New Year. And then, that coronavirus hit Wuhan right after, I believe. Yeah. And so you had enough buffer that you didn't have an issue with keeping stock.
One of our biggest regrets of last year is that we were trying to be a bit conservative on not having too much stock. And we realized that demand always increased supply. It was always above, and we were hating this because it's like we realized that there's so much scooter micromobility is such a logical solution for everything, and everybody loves it. And in summer, we faced a few instances of being out of stock. So we vowed to ourselves that as of this year, we're going to be fully in stock at all times. And we even went to China in January. We were very lucky because we got back on the 18th, and it was only on the 20th that this whole coronavirus really got controlled. So we got 2 days off, but we got a chance to meet with all the manufacturers of Mercane and Apollo, and really reassured that we had all our stock before then. So we got it in October, we got it in November, and on that last shipment came in January. So we're safe now. Yeah.
Okay. And as far as shipping goes, we were talking to VOROMOTORS just a second ago. No issue yet with everybody's still going to work. So whoever you guys use to ship with right now, everybody is shipping, they're all working, I believe. Right. I know in Bay Area here, we have large companies, Google, Facebook, Amazon, that are having their employees not come in already. Yeah. That it sounds like that hasn't happened where you are,
no,
or so at least not mostly in Canada.
Yeah, so Canada is one of the zones that is not too affected by it right now, which is great. Vancouver's having a few cases, but we're in Montreal, which is fine. We're very sort of secluded from this, and I think it's a very cold country, so not a lot of people are always together. But no, it's been fine. Everything's been on track. We're very sort of online as well focused, so there's not much interaction in large spaces. But it's been great, honestly. Everything's on time, and we're very knocking on wood.
Yeah.
Excited. Yeah.
Wonderful. Great. Well, that is all the questions I have for you. I really appreciate you coming on the show today and giving us the, what's going on with you. It sounds like not a huge, really almost no problems over there. So that's great to hear.
I mean, there's always problems, but I mean, this is no, everything's been great. We planned this sort of in advance to make sure we would always have stock. Unfortunately, this coronavirus happened, but we managed to just overturn it. And we're super excited to launch our new brand as of next month. So if anybody hasn't seen it, have a look at our website. Awesome. Again, $100 free accessories, which is 24 months warranty, and the rest you'll see on Chuck's great review.
Yeah, we have a link to you guys in the video description right now. So if you want to check out that, and we'll talk more about your products another show, I'm sure.
Of course.
All right, great. Well, have a good evening, and I know it's late there, and we'll talk to you soon.
Excellent. Thanks, Chuck. Have a lovely night.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Bye.
All right, Christopher, thank you so much. We're happy to have you on the show, and that's super insightful. We don't have much time, so our next guest is Paul from Scooter Hut, all the way down in Australia. He actually just messaged us saying that he's running late, so I don't know what we're gonna do for the next 10 minutes. Oh, hold on, my producer's saying that he's on his way.
Made it.
All right, there you are, man.
Morning.
Thank you for coming on the show, Paul. How you doing?
Yeah, good. Thanks, Chuck. Good to see you again, mate.
All right, yeah. So we're excited to have you on the show. I'm glad you can make it. So today we're talking to a bunch of folks from all over the world about how coronavirus is, or in many cases, is not affecting their business yet, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what about you guys over at Scooter Hut? I know you guys sell a ton of different models. Your link is in the video description, so people can check out what you guys sell. But how is it affecting you guys, or is it affecting you guys?
We've kind of been pretty lucky in that every year, just because of our previous experience selling, the Pro and Freestyle scooters, we've always very much preempted the Chinese New Year break. So we always ensure that we have adequate stocks to get us through that period. And seeing as though this coronavirus has been a follow-on of that, we've done okay to keep our stock levels up to scratch. And our sales have still continued to see growth. So far, the only thing that we've actually run out of is the Xiaomi models. But I believe even they'll be back in stock maybe as soon as tomorrow. So even still, that's just been a week or two of downtime with those. The only other real thing that we sort of experienced was there's a large shipment of spare parts and replacement tires and things like that we didn't manage to get to leave China before the Chinese New Year break. So we're hoping that'll get here in the next week or by the end of the month at least. So
I see. So the Xiaomi models, I know you can't see me for a second, just hang on. So the Xiaomi models, they are still being produced, or they're not being produced, or they just had a month break and then now they're getting shipped and that's all good. What's happening there?
I'm not too I believe that the factories, they're still not at full production as far as I know. But yeah, we've just managed to get a hold of some stock to sort of, I guess, replenish what we've run out of. So
okay.
But last we'd heard, I don't think Ninebot and those factories are operating at full capacity again yet.
That they're not yet, actually. Is that what you're saying?
Well, yeah, they're not at full capacity. I believe their orders are, they're sort of just producing the orders in order of when they were placed. So
okay, cool. And then all the other stuff that you guys carry, no downtime. It's kind of just keeps rolling.
Yeah, we made sure so one of the ones that we made sure that we definitely got out of China before the China break was our newest KAABO shipment. So we've got the MANTIS singles and duals and the Skywalker 8Ss and that one, as well as the Unagis as well.
Okay.
And then everything else we were already pretty good for. So we already had quite a bit of stock of the Mercane scooters, and also the E-Glide G60s as well. So yeah, we've been okay, really.
Okay, great. Do you see any? So if this coronavirus gets worse, what is your kind of risk plan, or what do you see happening either for you guys, getting scooters, shipping scooters out to customers? How do you see that being affected if, hopefully it doesn't, but if we keep seeing more and more cases, more companies shut down, that kind of thing, how do you see that impacting you guys?
Yeah, so the only thing that I think could be an issue would be especially with Segway Maxes if they become hard to get because they're one of our biggest sellers at the moment. That will definitely affect sales if we just can't get them. I know that with KAABO, their factory's back to work. They're currently working on our latest order. We've got a few different models coming through for the new MANTIS models and things like that. Unagi, plenty of stock of those. Mercane, I haven't heard of any issues with the supply chain for those as yet. So, and also the E-Glides as well. They're also coming over in new shipments all the time. So it's really the only ones that we're maybe a bit sort of iffy about what the supply chain will look like is the sort of your Segway Xiaomi ones. And that's just because of the huge popularity and demand for those models.
And that's due to when they maybe didn't make them for a month? Is it still, we're still like everybody's still kind of recovering from that. Plus, as I probably, and I think most people figure, those are some of the best sellers like worldwide, I would imagine.
Yeah. I think it kind of comes down to, I guess, the demand versus the quantity of production that they're able to pump out to satisfy, I guess, the global demand.
Yeah, we saw prices raise up really high on the Xiaomi M365 on Amazon in the US. It rose to its highest levels, I think, 2 weeks ago for the last year. So it went up to close to $500, where it's usually $350 on Amazon. Do you see price increases coming, or for the Xiaomis, or it seems like it's all kind of leveling back out?
Yeah, not as yet. I did actually just sort of in anticipation of us getting some stock back in. I did do a bit of market research into pricing. Everything seems to be sitting around where it was, including generally what the going price for an M3 around about $5.99 Australian.
Say that last.
That's where even say
10 seconds again. I just it cut out just for 10 seconds. Just about the...
Oh, that's okay. Just with the new shipment of M365s coming in, I did a bit of price research and see what was happening in the market out there. And it still seems that the standard price for the M365 in Australia seems to be 599 Australian dollars. So,
okay.
And that's being replicated even on the Australian Xiaomi official site and things like that. So,
okay.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what it was pre-Christmas.
Awesome. Okay, so it sounds like in Australia for you guys, it's more, I don't know, like people are worried, but at least for the scooter market, you guys seem to be doing just fine over there.
Yeah, everyone in Australia, everyone seems to be more interested in a fist fight over toilet paper in the supermarkets than electric scooters. I don't know if you've seen any of that stuff going on.
You gotta send us one of those videos too.
Mind over toilet paper, yeah. If you just Google it, just toilet paper fights in Australia, yeah, they're going crazy.
Okay. Well, if we have time, we'll have to go get the toilet paper fight in Australia. That sounds too good to not have on the show. Awesome. Paul, thank you very much for chatting with us today. Your link is in the video description, so if people want to check out the products that you do have in stock, and you're in Australia, we do have a lot of viewers in Australia. Hello to everybody in Australia, and check it out. And really appreciate you taking your time today or tonight. I guess it's morning. No, it's morning there.
8 o'clock in the morning.
That's right. Thank you for getting up early and getting to work on your Wolf Warrior. We love that scooter also.
Yep.
And we'll talk soon, I'm sure.
Right. Yeah. Me too.
Oh, lost you there for a second. What was that? I'm sorry.
Cut out. I just said, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Okay. Have a good rest of your day, and we'll talk soon. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks again. See you, Chuck.
Okay. Bye-bye. All right. Thank you so much, Paul, for coming in and getting here on your Wolf Warrior. That's awesome. So, okay, we're about out of time. I'm going to paste the link for the, that should be it, for the Scooter Showdown we worked a lot. Ramir worked a lot on this one, especially. So I hope you like it. I was hoping to do a summary. I'll try to do my best in the next few seconds. Why don't we, so I think what I learned from all of this, right, in summary, is that many brands were actually largely unaffected, except that from the supply chain side in China, there's about a month worth of time that nobody was producing scooters. So if any of the scooter companies in the US did not have excess inventory, then they may have a little bit of a supply problem, but it seems like it's a short-term thing because the supply chains are all working as of right now, meaning that any delay should be short-term. The other thing I learned was that the larger brands that have the most significant demand, like Xiaomi, may have a little bit longer to get stock out to their partners just because they do sell so much worldwide. So anyway, that's some interesting things that I learned. I appreciate everybody coming on here today. Shout out to everybody in the live chat. I saw some good conversation. I just want to say both RevRides and Apollo, fantastic customer service. Actually, they're both among the best from everything that we've heard. We also did the survey, which we're gonna release that survey. We actually had ratings on where you bought the scooter. RevRides and Apollo, especially RevRides because they've been around a little longer, always ranks at the top. So anyway, maybe we'll have, anyway, I shouldn't say too much, but, just thought I'd mention that. Okay, everybody move over. I'll be in live chat in the showdown, which is going to be starting here in like 30 seconds. So click that link on the live chat. Until next time, ride safe. Don't forget to wear your helmet. Bye-bye, everybody.